to do over again, I might have done it differently. But I think that experience is in some ways, I don't know, typical. But to put it differently, put it in a sort of context of my own study of linguistics and literature. Newahs, as you know, they call it a Tibeto-Burman language or a Sino-Tibetan language, and it's one of only about 5, I would say, that has a pre-modern literary tradition. You know, other ones being, Chinese, Tibetan, Tangut, Mai-Tai. And if you compare the kind of institutionalization of the study of these languages and these cultures, well, you're ahead of Mai-Tai maybe, but way behind Tibetan or Chinese. And I think that doesn't actually well reflect the achievements of Newahs civilization, the sort of institutionalization and achievements within, let's say, the Western Academy in humanities is out of step with the sort of inherent value and interest of the material. And one could speculate, there's some obvious answers and some not so obvious answers about why that might be so. But that's actually not what interests me. What interests me is to fix the problem. And looking at today's program, it's clear that there is an enormous amount of talent in the Newahs community and an enormous level of accomplishment. So what I would ask you to think about, and I'm sure many of you have already been thinking along these lines, is if you are able to be great scientists and great engineers and great businessmen, I look at the program and I think there are people here who have accomplished far more than I'll be able to. Well then, spend a little bit of the extra talent giving back to Newahs studies. And I think it's quite clear how that can work. You have 2 assets that you can invest. One is your time and one is your money. And so I would ask that everyone think right now about something they're going to do to help the traditional culture of the Newahs to be better recognized in kind of international culture today. And I want to give an example of very small and very large sorts of things you could do. So, for instance, you could go buy one more book in the Newahs language than you have so far. This is one way to spend money on promoting Newahs culture. Or you could read it. Yeah? That's one way to spend your time on Newahs culture. All the way to something very extreme, like you could quit your day job and become a scholar of Newahs literature. Or you could endow a professorship here at SOAS in Newahs studies. Yeah? Or, I don't care where, also Oxford, Cambridge, fine. But, I think I wanted to mention particularly, there's a lot of Newahs literature, and you know probably about the German Nepal Manuscript Preservation Project has actually microfilmed most Newahs manuscripts. And there are some things that to me are sort of screaming out for attention. For instance, this 15th century manuscript in Berlin, which is a translation of the Hitopadesha into Newahs. And I would love to know what's in that. And I think it's the sort of thing that if someone just, transliterated the text from the Ranjana script into Roman script with some prefatory material or something like that, it would be published, it would be nice, it would go to all the university libraries, it would make you famous, and it would help people in the humanities in general, sort of pre-modern Asian humanities in general, appreciate Newahs culture in the way they should. And I am here stuck as a Tibetologist, so I need you to help with this sort of thing. And so, that's, I think, where I'll end my comment. And then, otherwise, just thank you all for being here, welcome you to SOAS, and I also need to apologize. I'm personally only going to be able to stay to lunch because of family commitments, so I'm quite sorry about that.